Live.
We
Hello, my name is Tartar Icing here with my friend Steve, and we are going to play Everlasting Summer again. But this time, we're going in blind. Tell me, Steven, how are you going to feel about this?
a I have no idea on any of the routes now, so it's been like a year and a half.
Tell me about it. Same here. So we're going to get a new game, and we're going to start fresh. Maybe a little bit more fresher than we already have been.
It's gonna be like 40 to 50 minutes of just me reading. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
I was having that dream once again. That dream. Same thing every night. But it's all forgotten in the morning as usual. Maybe it's for the best. Only a glimpse of memory will remain of gates half opened, as if inviting me somewhere, with two frozen stone pioneers standing close by. Also that strange girl who keeps asking me. That is you.
Will you come with me?
Come? But where? And why? And where am I anyway? Of course, if it all happened in real life, I would certainly have been scared. Well, what else would one expect to feel? But this is just a dream. The same one I see every night. There must be a reason. You don't have to know where or why to realize something is really happening. Something desperately seeking my attention. Since everything that surrounds me here is real. As real as things in my own flat. I could open the gates, hear the hinges creak, brush the crumbling rust away with my hand, inhale the fresh, cool air, and shivers from the cold. I could, but to do that, I would need to pick myself up, take a step, move my hand. But this is a dream. I understand that. But what of it? What does my understanding change? Because here, it's just like on the other side of a cracked screen of an old TV, which struggles to fight against the static noise and strives to show its audience everything without missing a single detail. But the picture is getting blurry. I must be waking up soon. Maybe I should ask her something. The girl. What's her name? About the stars, for instance. Why the stars, though? I'd rather ask about the gates. Yes, the gates. She will be so surprised. Oh, better. Why the dot over an I is called a title, but the dot over a J is called a superscript dot? Nice letters. As if they don't exist anymore. Still, what do letters, gates, and stars have to do with this place? Because even if I'm having this dream every night, which will be forgotten soon anyway, I've got to look for answers here and now. And there, if you look carefully, you can see once again.
Magellanic.
Yeah, something clouds. Clouds.
Yeah,
Just the clouds.
Magellanic.
Just the clouds.
Yep.
As if I'd ended up in the southern hemisphere. In a dream, there are small things that catch your attention. An unnatural colour of grass, impossible curves of straight lines, or your own distorted reflection, while the real danger, which could put an end to everything right here and now, seems trivial. It's natural, since here you cannot die. I know it for sure. I've done it hundreds of times. But if you cannot die, is there a point in living? I should ask the girl. She's a local, she should know. Yes, exactly. I should ask her about the owl, for example. One strange bird it is. Though, it doesn't matter.
Will you come with me?
And every time I have to answer. It's the only way, otherwise the dream will never end and I will never wake up.
Well, I guess we know what the answer is.
All
Yes.
the choices are yours.
I'll come with you.
Every time. It's so hard to decide on an answer. Where am I? What am I doing here? Who is she? And why does so much in my life depend on this answer? Or maybe it doesn't. It's just a dream after all. Just a dream. What are you clicking, by the way, to go across lines? Are you clicking the arrows?
No, I'm just clicking like the center.
So I think I might be fucking skipping lines or something. Of which I have no clue why it'd be doing that.
Yeah, I don't
Lazy
particularly use
town.
I don't think I've ever pressed the actual buttons, to be honest.
I think the arrow keys work as well. So left, so I think it'd be right arrow.
Okay.
Your computer screen stared at me as if it was alive. Nope.
No.
Space?
No.
Oh, wait, no. I would say just click.
That's what, click, yeah, I've been clicking for God knows how long.
Sometimes it really did seem to me that it was conscious of itself, had its own thoughts and wishes, ambitions, that it had feelings, could love and suffer. As if in our relationship the screen wasn't an instrument. It was me who was a lifeless piece of plastic and textile.
Textolite, but...
Textile.
Eh. Tomato,
Easier word
tomato.
to say.
Yep. Tomato, tomato.
There is some truth in that. probably because the computer provides 90% of my communication with the outside world. That is far too true for most people these days as well.
Yep. Or your phone. One of the two.
Then you have the people who touch grass.
Yeah.
In my case, quite literally.
Me too.
Anonymous image boards, some chats from time to time. Rarely ICQ or Jabber, and forums even more rarely. People on the other end of the internet cable simply do not exist.
What a narrow-minded thought.
Yeah, very narrow-minded. It reminds me of how dense this man is. Also, the fact the people who decided to choose the screen for this chose a screenshot of a 2chan post that was relating to LazyTown in some sort of way.
The developers did their research.
All of them are simply creations of its sick imagination, an error in the source code or a kernel bug, which started living a dream of its own. If one looked at my existence from the outside, such thoughts would seem crazy. A psychologist would surely give me a bunch of sophisticated diagnosis and maybe write me a doctor's referral to the loony bin.
Maybe.
Yeah. With how this one ends up being, I wouldn't really be surprised.
And given the country he is in.
A small apartment with no signs of repair or any semblance of order in it, and always the same view out the window on the grey megalopolis, running somewhere day and night. Such are the conditions of my life. Well, of course it didn't all start like this. I was born, went to school, and finished it, like all the others. I was accepted at a university where I spent a year and a half, trailing behind and struggling. I drifted through several jobs. Sometimes it was working out quite well, sometimes I was even getting decent money for it. But it all felt like it was not mine, as if taken from another man's biography. I wasn't living life to its fullest. It was looping over and over in monotonous circles. Like in the movie Groundhog Day. It's just I had no choice in how to spend my day, and every day repeated itself. The same vicious spiral. A spiral of emptiness, misery, and despair. For the last few years, I just sat in front of a screen all day. Sometimes there was menial jobs, sometimes my parents helped me. All in all, I was able to provide for myself. No wonder really, since my needs are quite minor. I hardly ever leave my home. My communication with other people almost exclusively consists of online correspondence with the anonymous. who have no real name, no gender, no age. So, in brief, a quite typical life of a quite typical antisocial person of his time. It's kind of Donnie Darko on a minor scale, without doomsday-related visions. Who even is Donnie Darko?
I know he's like an older movie figure, but that's all I really know.
Well, maybe some highly respected author will write a novel about me, and it will become a contemporary classic of modern literature. Or I will write one myself. However, what's the point in fooling myself? I tried many times, but couldn't even come up with a simple short story. I tried to learn many other things as well. Not gifted enough to draw. That is never true.
You can learn.
You can never be not gifted enough to draw. Even me, I could draw at one point, but I just stopped.
Yeah.
And my skills have diminished horrifically.
I know several people like that because their heart was just elsewhere.
Not gifted enough draw programming. Got bored. Foreign languages takes too much time. The only thing I loved doing was reading, but I still never would call myself a scholar. Perhaps I was an ace at watching anime and a grandmaster of lame internet jokes.
Heh.
I was gonna make a Dark Souls 2 joke
Ah.
with the word scholar, but
Hey.
I am reserved with that.
Yeah, fair enough.
If I were to get paid for it, I would probably be a happier person and a richer person too. But I doubt it would fill the hole inside me. Today was another typical day of a typical failures life. And today is the day when I have to go to my university reunion.
Yeah, that's not something that particularly exists where I'm from.
The uni reunion. Is there anything that exists like that?
Not that I know of, not from my uni. No.
I remember there was like high school ones for me.
Yeah, the high school ones exist, yeah.
And the uni, I've never been to uni and probably never will be.
Yeah, you really have to think
So
about that before you go.
I refuse to go to uni. I'm not putting myself in student debt.
Isn't it a little better in the UK over there? Or just
If
as
you don't
bad?
earn enough, if you don't earn enough, you don't have to pay student debt.
Oh. Yeah, that's not the
That is a very
case.
that's a French teacher thing though. French teachers don't earn enough to pay back student debt.
Yeah, ooh, yeah. I wish we had that here. I really do.
Frankly speaking, I didn't really want to. What's the point? The time I spent with them was so short. However, I was persuaded by a friend, my former university mate, and one of you with whom I kept in touch other than through the internet. Hello, cat. Oh, it's already turning daytime. This is going to be an interesting day.
Indeed.
A frosty evening. Is it me or do I? I, I is that? I can't remember the character's name.
Cerno?
Yeah, that's what. That's Cerno on the fucking
Yeah.
board.
Cerno, she's an absolute meme. I'm not even surprised.
What? Blue hair, and being dumb
Yeah,
correlate.
Cerno.
A frosty, a frosty evening, bus stop, waiting. I've n- of all my playthroughs of this game, I've never noticed the Cerno bus stop.
The developers truly did their research. They know their shit.
I never liked winter, though hot summer is not my season either. It's just that I see no reason to point at any particular time of year. Doesn't matter what weather is outside when you just stay home 24/7.
Fair.
The weather does matter though if you stay home 24/7.
Oh, right, because, like,
If you
there's time to put on the AC, time to put on the heater.
AC, that doesn't exist.
Heaters exist.
Heaters do exist, AC does not to me. The bus today was late, so late that I was about to curse it all and spend my last few hundred rubles for a taxi. The idea of returning home didn't cross my mind for some reason. As usual, millions of thoughts flew through my mind, but there was not a single useful one to seize on. Such a thought that you could such a thought that you could bring into existence, give a shape, turn into an idea, then put into practice. Maybe I could start my own business. But where would I go? Where would I get the money from? Dogecoin.
Bitcoin.
Just Dogecoin. Or maybe I could go back to working in an office.
Ethereum.
Better than nothing, actually, is working in office. No, no way. Maybe I should try freelancing. But what skills do I have? And who would want me after all? I suddenly remembered my childhood. Or rather, my teen years. The time when I was 15 to 17 years old. Why exactly those years? No idea. I guess it's because back then everything was much more simple. It was easier to make decisions. So complicated now, and so simple then. Waking up in the morning, I knew exactly how my day was going to pass, and I eagerly looked forward to the weekend, and I could get some rest and have time for the things I liked: computer, football, going out with friends. And then, at the beginning of the next week, I'd take up my studies again. Back then, there were no such worrying questions like why, who needs it, what will change if I do it, what will not change. A simple lifestyle, so casual for any normal person. and so odd for myself today. That careless childhood age. It was also then I met my first love. Her appearance and personality have vanished from my memory. Only her name remains. Like a brief line from a social network profile along with the feelings which overwhelmed me when I was with her. Affection, tenderness, the desire for care to care for her and protect her. Sadly, it didn't last long. Today I can hardly imagine something like that happening. I would probably like to meet a girl, but I don't know how to start a conversation, what on earth to discuss, how to attract her. Well, I haven't met any suitable girls for a long time. But where could I meet one anyway? An interesting hypothetical for the man there.
Yep.
The sound of an engine brought me back to reality. A bus pulled over. There was something abnormal about it, though. I no, I thought. I thought. Then again, it doesn't matter. Only the 410 runs this route. Could be like that one bus from Harry Potter.
If only.
The streetlights passed me by, as if their cold light sparks inside me, trying to ignite feelings long dead. Or maybe not ignite, just awaken them. Because those feelings, they have been living in me for a long time, slumbering and waking up again. The driver's radio was playing some very familiar tune, but I wasn't listening to it. I was watching the cars passing by through the fogged up window. Because people are always rushing somewhere, chasing something they need, stuck in their own little worlds. Why would they care about mine? They probably have their own serious problems. Or maybe they have much easier lives. You can't know for sure, since all people are different. Or are they? Sometimes someone's actions can easily be predicted, but if you try to look inside his soul, you'll only see impenetrable darkness. The bus was approaching downtown, and my thoughts were interrupted by bright city lights. Hundreds of billboards, thousands of cars, millions of people. I watched this light show, and somehow I got terribly sleepy. How sad. I closed my eyes for a moment, and then
This man. Yeah, this is such a delight to watch that I'm not gonna even skip this.
Yep.
Delight.
What are you doing, cat?
I mean, how old is this game again?
I have no clue.
If I'm gonna guess, late early 2000s, early 10s. That's my bet.
Flavia, Lena, Uliana,
The pedo bear plush. Jesus.
Alyssa,
Miku.
Miku. And then I think it's Ulia, the funny cat girl. I remember very little.
Apparently she's not very easy to get.
You need every bad end and every good end,
That's
and then you can
exhausting.
unlock her route. And then you also need Miku route to unlock her route.
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what's in this. That's it. There's a whole bunch of little badges. Bright daylight struck my eyes.
I only recognize like a small handful of them.
At first, I didn't pay attention, as I wasn't fully awake yet. On their own, my legs carried me towards the door. Damn, looks like I fell asleep and missed my stop. But there was no door. And I looked around the bus and realised this wasn't the good old worn out Liaz. Instead, the bus was an Icarus model, a new one. I froze in shock. How? What? Am I dead? Have I been kidnapped? No, I must be dead. I patted myself down feverishly, slapped myself painfully in the face a few times, banged my forehead on the back of the bus seats. It's clear I'm still alive, or you can still feel pain when you're dead. But how could this happen? Maybe I slept for too long and ended up at the bus depot. And then what? Did they put me on another bus? I rushed out and took a look around. Greenery wherever I looked, tall grass on the roadside, trees, flowers. Summer. But how? It was winter just a moment ago. My head was aching unbearably, as if it was going to explode. Slowly, I began to remember. Is this a watercolor?
I think this is just digital painting. Like straight up. Like I could easily tell
And
if this is digital.
talk about what kind of thing it would be. Would it be like a watercolor if this was to be just hand done?
Actually, it could be a toss up between acrylic oil and watercolor at its lightest, yes. But if we're gonna go for it at its heaviest, oil. If you want to go for a good medium, acrylic. So it could be one of those three.
Some of the arts for this game are always really fucking good.
Why do you think I
think I
have
was
one of
sleeping.
them? I have one of them as my laptop wallpaper.
Well, I think I was sleeping, but then how can I remember all of it?
But yeah, I really like looking at the art in this game because it's such an inspiration.
And then a gap. Some girl leaning over me. She softly whispered something into my ear. Then a gap again. And then I woke up here. Who was that strange girl? Or was she just a dream? For some reason, thinking about her made me feel better. And calmed me a little. I felt warmth all over, coming from the inside. Could it be her who brought me here? Then I need to find her. And best place to look for her is away from here. And where did you come to that? Where did you come to that school of thought, sir?
I don't
And
know
where
if
did that man come from? School of thought where he had to go away from the place with the big gates, the statues, and a bus to find a girl.
maybe it's one of those innate things. It's like you just gotta.
The sixth sense.
Yep.
I rushed to the left, then to the right, then stopped, hesitating over where to go. Finally, I ran in the direction of which the bus had probably came. Physical exercise does refresh one's mind. Thoughts becoming clearer, and it gets a little easier to evaluate the surrounding reality. Not in my case, however. I was sitting on the roadside, wheezing and trying to ease my sore throat by gulping breaths of hot air. In any case, the run did its job. The fear withdrew for a while. Maybe I really am just dreaming. Though recalling my self-harm on the bus, I immediately rejected the idea. I am neither dreaming nor dead. Very, very astute of you, Semyon. Very astute.
Yes.
A narrow road ran through the field and far into the distance. The exact same road from my dream. I must be very far away from home.
Very astute, Semyon. Very.
It's not just that it was winter yesterday and it's summer now. It's the whole environment. Of course, summer usually like this, green and hot, but Here, everything is not entirely lifelike. Everything looks like it was taken from the paintings of a Russian landscape artist in the 19th century.
I think that's literally what the artists were trying to go for here. Because god
Yep.
damn, this is amazing.
The inspiration is worn on the sleeves.
Yep.
The grass is just too lush. The bushes are not like what bushes should be. They are so thick and you can't see anything through them, like treetops, honestly. And the trees themselves. The forest was quite far away, but the trees looked as if they had closed their ranks and were now just waiting for the order to advance onto the fields and plains. I caught my breath and looked at the bus, which was now barely visible. That was a good run. Fear overtook me once again. Those power lines. There must be people here. But what does it mean? In fact, that means nothing at all. Couldn't they have just had power lines even in hell? Roasting sinners over the hot coals. That's so last century.
He has an idea. I mean, induction.
Induction, quite literally. I must have reached the point of no return, after which you should either lose your mind completely, or finally try to understand what is going on. And still, and while I still have no choice, I should pick the second option. I slowly headed back to the bus. Of course, it was scary. But I'm not likely to find an answer in the fields or the woods. And this wretched bucket of bolts is the only kind of link that I have with the real world. I should carefully scout the area. A brick wall, and its gates crowned Sauvignok sign. Statues of pioneers standing either side, and a road sign nearby showing the bus route, number 410. The trip's taking a bit too long today. I smirked. A person may start acting inappropriately in extreme situations. Something like that is probably happening to me now. This place didn't look abandoned at all. No rust on the gates, no damage to the walls. Sauvignok. What could have a name like that? Judging by the pioneer statues, it could be a kid's summer camp. Moreover, it appears to be open. Of course, the simplest explanation, logically speaking, explains nothing at all. The strange girl, the altered bus, Summer, the pioneer camp. Thousands of theories went through my mind instantly, from alien abduction to lethargic sleep, from a hallucination to a time and space shift. None was worse than any other, but there was really no way to pick a single one. Then it occurred to me, I can try to make a phone call. I took out my cell phone and dialed the first number in my contact list. But instead of signal strength bars, the screen was showing a thick cross. Alright, there may be no signal in such a remote place. Though, I cannot be the only one who came here. Buses don't drive themselves. I examined the bus from all sides to make sure it wasn't a hallucination. At the bottom, some rust here and there, faded paint and worn out tyres. No, this is definitely a very ordinary occurrence. Yeah, exactly what kind of bus takes you to a place beyond your understanding if you carelessly fall asleep? I gave a nervous chuckle. It came out by itself, sporadically. Because this wasn't the right place or time to laugh. But where on earth is the driver? I cautiously sat down on the curb beside the bus and started to wait. My patience didn't last long. My anxiety seemed to have reached its peak, and I started to go slightly mad. In such a situation, anyone would probably have felt something similar. Aliens and parallel universes were gone from my imagination, leaving only void and darkness. Is this how everything will end? How my life will end? But I wanted to do so much, and there were so many things that I had time for, that I had no time for yet. I was overwhelmed by the idea. This was definitely the end. But why? It's not fair, surely. I'm no worse than anyone else. God, why? Tears were burning my eyes unbearably. I curled up and started rolling in the grass. Why? What did I do? Why me? But my cries were only heard by speechless statues of the pioneers and a bird on a tree which immediately flapped its wings and took off, crying out something in its own bird language. as if laughing at the idiot who dared interrupt its after-dinner nap. I was breathless from weeping, and I just lay there, sobbing occasionally. After a while, I managed to pull myself together. My mind cleared up a bit, as if the terror and the fear of death gave me a little break. All in all, if someone wanted to kill me, what's this all for? It doesn't look like an experiment either. If this is just some crazy coincidence, then there's probably no threat. Anyway, for now, it seems there's no danger. The panic was soon gone. Of course, the blood was still pounding my temples and my hands were still shaking, but at least I could think clearly now. Right now, there's nothing I can really change anyway. So no matter what, no matter how much I think or how mad I get, it will only make things worse. Until some actual facts appear, there's really no point in making guesses. But in any case, I won't learn anything by lounging around here. This camp, if of course it really is a camp, looked like the only place where people could be, so I decided to go there. And I hardly had reached the gates when a girl came from behind them.
Was I a little faster or?
I did the read
Okay.
even beforehand. Wearing a pioneer uniform. My logic didn't let me down this time. Then again, a pioneer uniform in the 21st century. And then again, a girl here. I froze, unable to take a step. I felt very much like running away. Running as far away as I could from this place. Far from the bus, gates, statues, far from the bloody bird with its siesta. Just running free like the wind, faster and faster, waving to the planets passing by, winking at the galaxies. Running becoming a pulsar ray and turning into vegetal radiation. Running to face the unknown. Run no matter where, as long as it's far away from this place. Meanwhile, the girl came closer and smiled. I could not help but notice her beauty, even though I was trembling with fear. Human instincts work independent of consciousness. While the 5% of the brain is responsible for cognitive process, the remaining 95% are always busy sustaining life, and in particular ensuring stable function of the hormonal system. I desperately wanted to get less complicated and stop thinking in formal quotes from an encyclopedia, though my thoughts appeared one by one being stupid, out of place, as if taken from an internal monologue of a hero of some junky softcore crime fiction book. A pretty Slavic face, long braids that look like two armfuls of fresh hay, and blue eyes you could drown in. Also a little bit too tanned in my
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah. This
That level of tan is
Yeah, that woman like straight up spent a shit ton of time in the sun. Like a metric shit ton. There's no way that's a day at the beach tan. That's
me.
just a whole summer.
It's me after a week of doing one of the things I did a while ago, where my arms were brown for like a solid year and a half.
Damn. Hi, you must have just arrived.
Reply. We do reply
Yep.
because we are not an antisocial man,
Yeah.
regardless of what the man says.
We're gonna push this guy to the limit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright then. Welcome.
She smiled broadly. Strange. It looked as if I had just a normal girl in front of me. Density off the charts.
Super dense.
But I should have just returned. I shouldn't have returned here. The woods and fields seem better. But what shall I do next? Try to speak with her as if she was human, or run away, or what? The blood was pumping unbearably in my head, tearing it apart from inside. A little bit more than a poor pioneer girl. And the poor pioneer girl would be splattered with the gruesome contents of my skull.
Jesus. What's so funny about that?
The girl looked over at me. It sent shivers down my spine, and my knees started to tremble. Nothing?
Great then.
Ugh. Great. What's so great about that? Suddenly a thought crossed my mind. To hell with it. Forget all about the bus behind me. The fact it was winter yesterday and summer today. I wanted to rip off my itchy sweater and just accept that this is actually happening. Everything as it should be, and this is for the best.
There you go.
Would you happen to know?
You should go to our camp leader. She'll tell you everything. Look. You go straight ahead to the square, then turn left. You'll see several small cabins.
She pointed at the gates, as if I knew there was something behind them.
Well, you can ask someone where Olga Dmitrievna's cabin is.
Yeah, we shall refer to her as Olga the entire playthrough.
Olga D. Let's go with that.
The I
Got it?
Of course I didn't.
Well, I've got to go now.
And I think that is where we should end it for this first episode, because